Jester 3 and 2 to get
big.
here.
Yeah, game 5 against Jesu. That is amazing. So right now, Fezaru on the Yumiko. Glad to see a little bit of Yumiko action. You always got to watch out for those D6s on either weapon. So let's see what happens here. Rikka, you off stage against Scythe and Hammer. That is like such an even matchup off stage because anybody that gets like the relative command grab, anybody that's able to get that active input or that spike, I mean, that's, you know, you have so much damage lying ahead of you.
I think if Fezaru can get away from these scythe springs of Rikka, they're going to have a lot more control with that hammer, because I think they're getting some really good momentum or reads with where Rikka is going to be going, and that's what you need with hammer, especially with the signature set of Yumiko. Oh, but as they say that though, they try to land a signature Rikka with the punish, gets recovery. Did you see Dally? The grab out comes in, and Fezaru is just going off with that bow neutral signature, man.
This is what Yumiko does. This is what Yumiko does to people, which is control space and make you feel like there is absolutely nowhere safe that you could possibly go. Now you're on site. The question is, how do you actually close out this stop? You know, that's not going to be enough to do it quite yet. The side light doesn't do it. The recovery, the unarmed recovery actually takes it off the top, and Rikka keeping themselves in the game, not taking any more damage.
Yeah, and you definitely know that Rikka is like, okay, let me play a lot more scythes. Those scythe combos have been catching Fezaru off guard, like that 4-piece combo that just came out as well. And you're going to see them do these neutral lights. You're going to see them do these silent options leading into different combos. Silent leading into a weapon throw, which is kind of unique there. They actually want to go back to the gauntlets. If Fezaru knows that, is punishing them very well with that. Gets the neutral air, gets the weapon throw, gets the unarmed recovery, but is able to get the dare option, neutral signature as well. And now Rikka's off that ledge and might get punished here. Oh, the dodge read by Rikka. The recovery comes out, and Fezaru with no weapon gets the unarmed recovery. And now trying to get the Rikka, the silent recovery coming in. And these guys are just aggressive beyond belief, and they're doing very, very well at it.
Okay, just getting a couple of end lights here. Fezaru try to get that side sig, a bit of a commitment, and now look at the amount of damage that you're eating. Oh, into the D-light as well. How do you make it back onto the stage, Rikka? Just waiting, using that dodge at the last possible second, makes it back on touches, and look at the lead. Look at the lead that has been built up. Look at the damage that Fezaru has to make up now.
I do gotta bring up one point though. Fezaru's unarmed, he's very confident with it. He's willing to swap off the hammer, go to a different weapon, and go in with unarmed. However, now that you bring that up as well, Fezaru is in the orange. They have to do a lot to go ahead and bring it back into their advantage. They're gonna have to get some sort of string or some sort of 2-piece combo to be able to knock out here. They missed the signature. They're throwing that out too quickly. Rikka is realizing that. Now with the neutral platform control, it's a silent, misses the recovery option, gets weapon thrown into the neutral air, and that allows for Fezaru to get stop side and get the neutral control from Rikka. This might be it here.
Oh, but then just keeps on dodging out. That's no GC sidelight, but that's still going to be the stock. Rikka able to take it off the top and taking game number 1 here. Wow.
I love this gameplay. You know, a lot of the previous, like in North America, it's more of like a dodge reading style gameplay. But when you see Rikka against Fezaru, they are going at it. They're being aggressive. You're seeing Fezaru so confident with the unarmed, which we don't usually see from players, right? And taking full advantage of that. They had the platform control, but all it came down to that final stock where Fezaru was facing Rikka. That neutral signature, neutral air was amazing. And then it just came down to who got the silent and who got the jump read, or just the read in general. Rikka got the falling into recovery knockout.
I do also think all the D6s that Fezaru was going for weren't actually working out. Especially when it came to like edge guarding. I felt like the times that Fezaru was opting to go for D-Sig was a little too close to Rikka. Rikka was able to consistently get in there, at least get on the stage, and sometimes even get a whip punish onto Fezaru. And so I feel like with Yumiko's down sig with either bow or hammer, you want one of two things. Either at like a mid-range, where it's unreactable when you try to catch somebody dodging or jumping into it, or at a long distance so that you can basically manipulate their movement and tell them, hey, you can't go here, so I'm going to try to cover you. Like up and around the D-Sig that I put out. And I feel like neither of those things happened. Fezaru kept using a lot of D-Sig super close to Rikka, and Rikka was able to get in there consistently and even sometimes punish Fezaru for it. Which I guess is like, if you can beat that against Yumiko, you've got Yumiko figured out.
Yeah, and I think Fezaru also was going for that neutral signature a lot, and it wasn't landing on Rikka. Now, if it lands, it's awesome, but over the couple times that we saw against Rikka, it just wasn't working at all. And I think now they got to realize that, and because that's realistically how Rikka got their momentum. But now Rikka's got their own momentum of their own with that scythe, launching Fezaru into the red. Fezaru does that weapon throw into backward neutral, but it's not landing. Rikka realizes it's coming out. Doesn't land. That one's coming out. The cider comes in. The weapon throw comes in. Misses the stomp, allowing for Rikka to go and get this double recovery knockout option.
Rikka's doing so well. How have I not been familiar with his game up until now? At the moment, Rikka's doing amazing recovery into the down air side. Down once again, just putting Fezaru behind him. You are being put into the scythe mixer, but that's going to be the end sig. Fezaru catching that high recovery attempt. Really good stuff, and keeping that stock count even.
Yeah, and when it comes down to Rikka, they've only gotten 5 top 32s. We haven't seen a lot of their gameplay, but they just beat Dejester to go ahead and get to go against Fezaru. And Dejester being one of the main people in Europe that go crazy. And Fezaru say, you know what? It might be the one guy's been going he's been going crazy this event, but can I put a stop to it? And they're keeping even right now. No crazy thing here or there. You're seeing Fezaru rely a lot on signatures to kind of mix things up, but that might allow for Rikka.
They're connecting, or you at least putting yourself in a safe position off stage. Fezaru, you got hit by that ground pound. You got to eat that ground pound, and that's what Gauntlet does, right? 9 times out of 10, they don't go off stage for that dash jump ground pound, and then the one time they do is the one time you fell asleep at the wheel. But what an edge guard!
Yeah, this red that Rikka was pressured a lot to the point where they're going to impulse jump, and those impulse jumps are what players take advantage of fully as much as they possibly can. And now it's one stock all. If Fezaru can go ahead and get some combos in like that onto Rikka, that might give them a huge advantage. And it did, but now things are even. Rikka's now got the gauntlets, and Fezaru doesn't have a weapon right now. Oh, there we go.
Okay, Fezaru, what do you do here? You gotta find some sort of an opening. The D-Sig does come out, okay? And now you have an idea that Rikka wants to jump over it. How do you make it back onto the stage here? Rikka, that finds one recovery. That's a neutral into the sider as well. Off stage, that sider angle is nasty. Nobody is coming back from that. Rikka, I mean, when it comes to the actual combo potential, Rikka is the one that is consistently finding these long, extended strings. Rikka is the one that is both with Scythe and with Gauntlet just doing so well. Wow.
Yeah, and Fezaru is going in, and I think the platformers are messing it up too, especially on that final stock that Rikka just went absolutely crazy on as well. They tried to do a weapon throw onto Rikka to throw him off, but it hit the platform, and that led for Fezaru to be off the ledge and didn't have any more jump options come back. And that's why we saw Fezaru get knocked out the way they did. But Rikka, I mean, has been going crazy, not just with Scythe, but with Gauntlets, and has been doing very well controlling Fezaru's and maximizing on the attacks that they're whiffing. And we've been seeing a lot of that from Fezaru tonight.
Guys, on the list of things that were supposed to happen, this is not one that I think a lot of people, unless they were more familiar with Rikka's game, could have anticipated, because Rikka's doing exceptionally well at the moment. Oh, actually, no, wait a second. I think they played against each other once in the past, way back when. But at the moment, how do you make it back on? Rikka, you're able to connect the downer. That's going to be the GCD light into the ground pound. Rikka finishes the food. Wow.
Yeah, and they're just having so much control with that scythe, and that scythe can be really difficult to counter. It's a totally different play style than most weapons too. And I mean, Fezaru is just having a rough time with it, and I think it comes down to Rikka's aggressiveness. Fezaru can do very well in the middle of the long range battle because of that hammer and because of their bow, but they do go ahead and get the stomp sider. I think they're gonna have to use a lot more of those close to true or true combos against Rikka. But right now, Stomp, Silent, and the neutral light comes in, misses the neutral signature. Rikka with the honor neutral light.
That's what I mean about pressing the D-Sig a little too close to the opponent, right? Because a little bit too close, it's not actually able to threaten Rikka in time. And then Rikka was just able to get under Fezaru and punish him for it again and again.
Yeah, and Rikka with the double silent recovery knockout on Fezaru, and Rikka is just on a roll right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, missing the downer, just eating a GCD light. Okay, what's it gonna be? Fezaru trying to get in there, just trying to control the space a little bit, and Rikka finally gets hit by it, but no stomp.
They're whipping! They kept missing their attacks. Fezaru got the read into the stomp side air, and a recovery comes in. He saves Rikka with that signature option!
No, this did not just happen. This didn't just happen, right? Fezaru made it back on. Okay, there was a timeline where Fezaru just lost because the D-Sig connected. You understand that, right? That would have been ridiculous. But Fezaru keeping themselves in the game. Rikka on their last stock finally, but up 2 games to 0. Fezaru has a lot of damage to make up.
He does, and they're trying to do, oh, that hit, Stomp Sider goes and lands, trying to do it again, but I think they're trying to put all this pressure with that signature option, and they're going risky with these signatures, but they know that if they miss, there's so many recovery frames. Rikka just maximized on that with a 3-piece combo. Oh, but Rikka's on a roll. Will Fezaru be able to go ahead and make amends here? It all comes to the Stomp Sider by Fezaru, and no, they don't make amends, but Fezaru takes game number 3 against Rikka, and needs to find some type of way of going against that scythe.
The tables flipped so many times in the last 2 stocks. That was crazy. What was happening off stage? The fact that Fezaru didn't get that stock off sooner, and then the D-Sig actually coming out and connecting ended up saving Rikka was so funny. The funnier thing was the fact that Rikka almost KO'd Fezaru off the stage, because you know what Scythe does. At any amount of damage that you have, it does not matter. They will hunt down all of your jumps, all of your dodges, and they will keep shoving you off stage 1 hit at a time. And then Fezaru won like 2 interactions last time around, and then his damage output was insane. Look how aggressive Fezaru is being now. This is a different beast.
Yeah, and Fezaru, oh! Gets the knockout on Rikka with the crab out and does almost a 0 to death on the Rikka, and is in a certain momentum that is landing very, very well, and Rikka is just coming back with gauntlets, might be able to find an approach, but Fezaru is feeling a lot better. Looks like they're doing a lot better with their attack options.
What happened to this Fezaru in the first 2 games? I don't understand who this person is right now at the moment. Goes through the D-Sig once again. Rikka just barely whipping that end line. I can't believe it didn't connect. Looking for the D-Light, not able to find it. The end light comes out. Rikka looking to catch us landing. GC side light does not actually end up connecting. Both of them whiffing so much in each other's faces. Fezaru setting up with that D-Sig. Again, a little bit too close. Rikka with an excellent punish with that sider. Fezaru, can you make it back on? Weapon toss to keep yourself safe. Rikka extending off stage with the sider as well. Rikka, you need any way to get the stock off now. This is the time. You have to get it now.
Yeah, and Fezaru is with the downlight unarmed recovery. He is very confident with their unarmed, but not able to land anything on a knockout on Rikka. But Rikka goes ahead and gets that gauntlet cider knockout instead. Weapon starving Fezaru, knowing that once they pick up that weapon, they're picking up hammer. It's gonna be rather difficult to go ahead and save themselves from a knockout. Huge. And they try going for a Mafia there, and Fezaru goes ahead and knocks out Rikka of that second stock already.
Fezaru 2 stocks to 1, completely healthy on the second stock as well, mind you, and continuing to weapon start Rikka. Rikka is whipping so much in Fezaru's face now. Finally able to get in there and picking up with the gauntlets. Let's see what Rikka's going to be able to make happen. That's a down in, double chase dodge, looking through the sidelight, doesn't actually find it. Fezaru looking to catch a jump by setting up with that D-Sig, but Rikka didn't jump in that time and just ended up dashing back. Looking for the sidelight, finally ends up connecting one, doesn't actually successfully read Fezaru's dodge option. Rikka is struggling to get any big combo started, and that is what that's what Gauntlet does. That's what Gauntlet needs.
Yeah, and right now the gauntlets are working into Rikka's favor with these 2 pieces into neutral light as well. As downlight in the ground pound lands, and now Rikka has made things even against Fezaru. And this is a big deal for Fezaru because he needs to win this game to go into game number 5 against Rikka.
Okay, you get that Neutralite, you get the Sider, and then I can't believe that Neutralite didn't actually connect. Fezaru makes it back on with the Sider, but of course Sider into Endlight, not a true combo by any means. It would just be like a dodge reader, catching the opponent not doing something. Rikka, Scythe play off stage. Fezaru finally gets that dodge back, and that's why you dodge first. So that's a tool that you can use later to come back on. Rikka should have finished off that stock. Rikka should have waited and then went for a ground pound whenever Fezaru inevitably had to dodge back onto the stage.
Nice dodge read from Fezaru is allows him to go and get that hammer, and that hammer, it might be what he needs to go ahead and beat Rikka, and that signature keeps throwing out. Rikka knows the counter to it with that silent option, but is it enough against Fezaru? Fezaru throws that signature out again against Rikka. Oh, and Rikka's starting to read a more silent recovery comes in, and Rikka beat Fezaru 3-1 to go further into this bracket.
That's so funny. Whenever it's last stock, Fezaru is like, okay, I am going to throw out as many signatures as humanly possible. I am going to just test you. I'm going to check you. Are you present enough to avoid all of them?